All right, guys, it's matchup preview time. We're going to kick us off with the matchup of the week, a Super Bowl rematch between myself and the Patriarch. Hat Trick Patrick versus the Patriarch. And it's got to kill Senior that he's facing Patty Mahomes. I know he thought he was going to be just fine. Lamar Jackson, I'm going to take him in the second round. Well, how you feeling about that now? Lamar Jackson's out, and you're rolling with an absolute pile of dog shit named Justin Fields. My bold prediction on Senior side is very easy. Justin Fields is going to fall flat on his face. He's going to do embarrassingly bad against one of the worst defenses in football. Less than 10 points for Justin Fields for fantasy. I know you guys aren't going to believe it, but it's going to happen. I've seen Justin Fields every game he's ever played, and I'm telling you, these are the spots where he is absolutely at his worst. He's going to suck. I'm talking multiple turnovers, not going to get multiple touchdowns. He's just going to be terrible. George Pickens is going to be facing Sauce Gardner, not expecting much there. Jalen Waddle now is the number one there, so he's going to be facing J.C. Horn for the Panthers. Not expecting much out of that. Whatever Worthy does doesn't matter because I have Mahomes. Judkins in a brutal matchup with the Vikings and a shitty rookie QB coming in. Don't love that. Genty doesn't get to play the Bears, so he's going to suck. I was so confident Hunter Henry's going to suck that I traded him to you. I traded him away to my opponent. That's how confident I am that Hunter Henry's going to suck. Khalil Shakir, he's never playable. You can't play Khalil Shakir. He's a bum. So Minnesota D at Cleveland, all right. You're playing a defense against your star running back. We'll see how that plays out. It basically nullifies the one Quinshon Judkins touchdown. So on my side of things, my homeboy's going to shred the Jags. Michael Pittman Jr., it's time to start a dialogue about him being the most underrated wideout in football and in fantasy football in particular. Would you guys believe that there was a guy out there that thought Devonta Smith was a fair offer for Michael Pittman Jr.? Would you believe that? You shouldn't, because it's insane. Jackson Smith and Jigba facing a banged-up Bucs secondary, not expecting them to be able to stop him. Godwin, tough matchup with Seattle, man. I hate to admit this because, Kevin likes them, but the Seahawks are maybe the best defense in football. They are incredible. I don't know what to make of McCaffrey tonight. Probably going to get the ball 30 times, but, the Rams know that too. So I expect the efficiency to be absolute dog shit, but, still high floor because he's going to get the ball 30 times. Achane's going to shred the Panthers. So my bold prediction is this is the week. This is the Travion Henderson week, guys. He's going for over 100 yards. He's getting into the end zone en route to me defeating Senior and starting out 5-0. I don't know if I'm ever going to lose a game, guys. Now, I look over here, Captain Jack making moves, picking up Houston's D, which is a very smart play with Lamar Jackson out. The Houston offense has been in shambles. I like it, man. Good play. He's going up against Kevin, whose defense is the Rams, and Kevin's in the chat talking about the Rams are about to lose. I don't know what the hell Kevin's doing. If you think the Rams are going to lose, why are you playing their D? We'll see what happens. Kevin, once again, a strong contender for dumbest start of the week as he continues to plug Trey Tucker in, who is absolutely not rosterable. This is only a 10-team league. This isn't a 30-team league. You don't need to play Trey Tucker. He's an absolute bum. I would play Io Manor over him. I would probably just go into free agency and grab someone instead. But, Kevin's going to do what Kevin does. I can't call that dumbest start of the week yet, though. I got to get through the other matchups. Right now, it's a strong contender. Jack also with a strong contender in Travis Hunter. I mean, Travis Hunter has 11 fantasy points on the goddamn season. Just to give you an idea, there's lots of guys that get that on one play. So, horrible year for Travis Hunter so far. Jonathan Taylor's going to smash the Raiders, is what it is. I think big bounce back game for David Montgomery. So that's where I'm going to go with my bold prediction for for Jack here, David Montgomery, 90 yards and 2 scores. Gets into the end zone twice as they just run away from the Bengals and let Jahmyr Gibbs take a deep breath after he gets a $150 and 2 touchdowns in the first half. On Kevin's side of things, tough matchup with Denver for Jalen Hurts. Egbuka does nothing this week. Tough matchup with Seattle. He's the wide receiver 2 behind Godwin. You heard me. It is what it is. Godwin came back from a torn ACL. First game back, had more targets, more air yards. Obviously, Godwin's the 1. Egbuka's the 2, and he'll be the 3 when Evans comes back. For those of you that don't know, that I'm going to do the league a service here, okay? Don't let Kevin fleece you into believing Egbuka's a real thing. He's not a real thing. He is the worst receiver in the NFL in separation score. He does not get open. You know who does get open? Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. So guess who's going to get more targets? Again, that's why Godwin had more targets his first week back. You think they wanted to give him 10 targets? They didn't, but he's open. And Egbuka isn't. So there you go. Bold prediction. Emeka Egbuka, sub 6 fantasy points against Seattle. Who's going to win this one? I actually like Jack this week. I think Jack's going to get this dub. So I'm picking Jack to beat Kevin. Suck it, Kevin. Now, Jason versus Steve. Oh, man. And Steve has an opportunity here to right the ship, to get on the right side of 500. We'll see what happens. Let's break this down. Baker Mayfield, brutal matchup at Seattle. I absolutely would be looking for another option if I were Jason this week. This is the toughest matchup Baker will have all season long. Really just, and he's banged up, and Mike Evans isn't playing. I just don't love that. I look at Brian Thomas Jr., the dude has to get going at some point. There's got to be a spike week. Why not this week, Monday night in prime time against the Chiefs? Maybe. Jamar Chase, the Lions can be beat by outside receivers. Can Jake Browning get him the ball? I don't think so. I love Quentin Johnston this week. I think Quentin Johnston has a great game, but I'm going to go for Jason's bold prediction. I'm going to say the New York Football Giants defense is the number 1 defense on the week. I think they get a touchdown, maybe 2. Their defensive line is ferocious. They just shut down Justin Herbert and the Chargers for the most part. The Saints are going to give them no problem. So that's my bold prediction for Jason. On Steve's side of things, Jordan Mason, again, another guy that's borderline not playable. Brutal matchup with Cleveland, who has shut down every running back that they played against. And, many of those are much more talented backs than Jordan Mason, who's just not that good, in all honesty. Jordan Mason's fine if he's got a super easy matchup. If he has any resistance at all, he's a bag of shit. So Jordan Mason, not expecting much. A.J. Brown's not going to do anything against Patrick Surtain. There's just nothing there. Cortland Sutton, brutal matchup with Quinyon Mitchell. Not expecting much from him either. Honestly, there's some brutal matchups here for Steve. Josh Allen is his only hope this week. Josh Allen at home against the shitty Patriots. Only hope he's got. For my bold prediction on Steve's side of things, I'm going to go back to Jordan Mason, and I'm going to say Jordan Mason sub 8 fantasy points at Cleveland. I'm not expecting good things. So who's going to win this matchup? Jason's going to win. Jason moves to 3-2. Steve moves to 2-3 and starts sliding back to the bottom where he belongs. Now we got Reese versus Jared in a matchup with 2 guys that just love each other. Their friendship is so deep and so loving. It's an inspiration. It really is. I mean, they're borderline gay for each other. Now we look at Puka Nacua, Matt Stafford, Kyron Williams, Devontae Adams. So the Fighting Rams have a cakewalk of a matchup against a super banged up Niners team tonight. I would expect fireworks. If Reese comes out of the night with less than 50 points, then he ought to be ashamed, and he's probably going to lose. but I don't see that happening. I think he has a big game. Deebo Samuel probably not going to play. He's fat. He's out of shape. If he does play, it doesn't matter because he sucks at football. He's been very lucky to have any of the points he does have. He's another guy I don't believe in. I think Deebo Samuel's going to suck. Chuba Hubbard looks like he might be out. I think he is out, actually. So it's going to be a Rico Dowdle week. Great matchup with Miami. Rico Dowdle should step in, do just fine. My bold prediction here for Reese is going to be Tyler Warren continues his ascent as an elite fantasy tight end with 14 plus fantasy points in this matchup. Now I look over to Jared's side of things. He's got the all underachievers team, Nico Collins, Justin Jefferson, Ladd McConkey, all of them just underachieving like crazy. Love me some Breece Hall against the Cowboys. I think Breece gets deep. He's gonna break off a few long ones in that game. We're gonna go for bold prediction on Jared's side of things. I'm thinking Justin Jefferson does well with Carson Wentz this week. I'm gonna say Justin Jefferson. I'm feeling $120, and I'm feeling a touchdown. I think Jefferson goes for $120 and a TD. Who's going to win? Now, that's a tougher question. I'm looking at this right now, and I just got a feeling that that Reese is getting the dub. So I think the Rams, again, this is about the best time possible they could play the Niners. If this game was even close tonight, you ought to be ashamed to be a Rams fan. Just putting that out there. This is a classic no-win scenario, in my opinion. The Rams win, great. You beat a super banged-up team that's getting healthier, and they'll be a lot tougher later in the season. If you lose, you lost to this team without most of their best players. I don't see how you could be confident in beating them later in the season. We'll see how it goes. I'm expecting the Rams to just mollywop the Niners. We'll see. So that being said, Reese gets the dub. So from London with Love versus Sir Nick-a-Lot Joe versus the hapless fighting Tony Juniors. Tony's probably got to go get a different wide receiver than Josh Downs. I don't know if Tony hasn't watched a lot of football, I don't think, this year, but Josh Downs is only on the field like 30% of the time. Absolutely not playable or even rosterable, really. You shouldn't even have him on your team. Braylon Allen's out for the year. He's another guy you can go ahead and cut if for some reason you don't want to cut Josh Downs. Ted McMillan, the spike week is coming. He's getting the usage. He's getting the yardage. Jared Goff, great matchup against the Bengals. I would expect him to throw at least 2 touchdowns, maybe 3 or 4. Travis Kelce at Jacksonville. I can't in good conscience sit idly by and watch somebody start Travis Kelce in the year of our Lord 2025. That's embarrassing. Shouldn't be starting. My bold prediction for Tony is I'm going to go Cam Skattebo keeps it going this week with Tyrone Tracy out. Cam Skattebo, top 6 fantasy running back finish this week. On Joe's side of things, the things that stand out to me, Bo Nix, absolutely unplayable at Philly. He's going to have a really rough go. It's going to be really bad. Bo Nix is fine in great matchups. You look at the 2 times he's faced even quasi-decent defenses at the Chargers and at home against the Titans, who are not even that great. He scored 12 and 5 in those 2, and you're probably going to get somewhere in that range from Bo Nix this week. Marvelous Marv should be fine against the Titans. If anybody's going to do anything receiving for Denver, it'll be Devonta Smith with Surtain pasted to A.J. Brown. You heard what I said about Gibbs, $150 and 2 TDs. Bold prediction for Joe. Well, first of all, Bucky Irving's not going to play. So he's going to have to plug in Woody Marks. And that's where I'm going with my bold prediction. Woody Marks continues his ascent from last week. Another 100-plus yards and another touchdown against a very easy-to-beat Baltimore defense. Who's going to win this matchup? Man, I just got Tony Jr.'s due. He's got to win at some point. Is he going to go 0-5? Yes, he's going to go 0-5. So Joe gets the dub. And there you have it, guys, for your matchup previews. I will see you for the recaps on Tuesday after I defeat Senior once again.